Hi everyone, welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Saya's Route, Episode 9. And I'm sure we're coming close to the end of Saya's Route because right now, Project Starlight is starting. So everyone, including the people in Harbor Town, have turned off their lights. And while everyone is in Harbor Town, Akito and Saya are not. And it's because Akito found the luck charm that Saya has been looking for. And special because it has the love letter that Saya wrote many years ago. And when Akito presented the charm and the love letter at the dam, which is the replacement for the bridge that they were supposed to meet many years ago, Akito also gave his answer to the letter. So it's kind of like Akito fulfilling the promise that he didn't do so 5+ years ago. So I'm sure Saya's happy, and after all these years, she still has her heart set on Akito. So I wonder if they're going to come down to Harbor Town for the event, because they're kind of missing out. And I'm sure the Six Stars Club wants Akito and Saya to show up. So let's see how the event goes. So Hikari's like,
Yoosh! 撤収準備完了!
Okay.
まだイベントは続くようですが、後のことはタウン側にお任せしましょう。
Okay, so they missed the beginning, but it looks like they want to keep this going for a little bit.
いいイベントでしたね。こんなに大勢の人と一緒に星を見られるなんて感無量っす。
それよりコロナ、お腹すいたよ。私はおトイレ行きたい。フードコートもうやってないのかな？ねえ、なんか食べて帰ろうよ。
こーら、あんたらちんたらやってないで電車あるうちに帰るんだよ。
はーい。それでは我々は撤収します。本日はありがとうございました。
Okay, so this marks the end of the event, and thanks for participating.
家へ帰るまでが遠足だからね。
はーい。行こう、ひなみ。
Okay, let's go.
さようなら、美人先生。
お疲れ様でした。お疲れ様でした。
はぁ、終わった。
久しぶりに先生みたいな真似してちょっと肩こったわ。ま、でも楽しかったかな。
Well, at least it was fun.
お疲れ様です、早乙女さん。
And I wonder who is making Miharu looking gloomy.
どうもお疲れ様です、森田さん。
So what's wrong with him?
せっかく人がいい気分で余韻に浸ってたってのに。
何か？
So wait, do you say anything?
いえいえ、こっちのことです。この度はご協力ありがとうございました。
So if Miharu doesn't want to deal with this guy, she should say so.
いいえ、私こそ貴重な機会をいただきました。ありがとうございます。
Or come up with a reason to, well, thanks, but I gotta go.
とても面白い催しでしたね。我々には思いもよらないような。
まあ、子供の考えることなんで。
あなたの教え子が始めたんでしょ？
はい、まあ中心になってやってたのは私が担任をしていた最後の生徒らです。
So it was the last group of students that I taught who did the planning.
では、やっぱりあの時のだと思いましたよ。まだ星を見ているんですね、あの子たちは。
はい。
いい生徒を育てましたね。つくづく教師を辞めてしまったのが惜しい。どうですか？私の知人が校長をやっている学校が。
So I really want you to go back to teaching, so I do know this principal who might want to hire you. So if you remember, after the elementary school that Hikari, Akito, and Saya went to, it closed down for demolition. Miharu also retired.
いいえ、結構です。
And I'm sure Morita sounds like, well, I want to see you teaching again because I'm sure you can inspire new students to do astronomy.
はあ、でも今定職がないと。
But I'm sure Miharu's like, well, I retired, so.
あ、もうこんな時間だ。私も電車の時間がありますので、それでは。
Okay, I'll see you later.
相変わらずそそっかしい人だ。
Well, that's how she is. So, in the tiny gaps between the countless twinkling stars, the meteors continue to fall. In emitting the last of the light, they burned and fell silently. And it's like a scene from a fantasy.
綺麗だね。
Okay, so Saya and Akito decide to stay together. So atop the abandoned train, with a single blanket around our shoulders, we gaze at the night sky, brighter than usual in the light of the stars.
でも、ちょっと寂しい光景だって思うよ。
So why?
だって、あの星屑たちが光った後消えていくだけなんだもん。
So the meters disappear afterwards. So it is as if there are... So those tiny stars, driven out from the universe, were signaling their existence with the last of their light before they disappeared. And we couldn't help thinking about the stars that had disappeared from the night sky. But look, so these stars that we thought are gone, so many of them are visible tonight.
そうだね。光が言ってた通りだ。
But if the lights on land could be hidden like the moon, the stars will return to the night sky and you're looking at now. So Hikari is right. So tonight, the lights are off in Hoshinonaka City. In Harbor Town, several other shopping streets had turned off their Christmas lights, and most residences are dark too. And just like that, as if new life had been breathed into them, the stars return to the night sky. And it was the starlit sky we need to look at, the bright night. So Saya lays her head on my shoulder.
ここから始まるんだよね。
So what started it all and what brought them together? So worried?
うん。だって私はずっとその一歩を踏み出すのをためらってきたから。ずっと思い出の中にいたから。
So stars disappear with each passing year, but now we know that they can be brought back. And they won't be gone forever. So Saya smiles and looks at me and return her gaze. So, your eyes are really beautiful, Saya. So they are just like Alberio. So Saya looks embarrassed, but she didn't turn her glistening eyes away. I already knew what she is asking for. So she wanted some kind of proof to ease her worries. She wanted to know that it isn't all just words. So Saya? And slowly our lips drew closer. And at the wrong time, Hikari pops into view. Uh-oh. So we drew apart and turned around. So Hikari is on the platform striking a grandiose pose for some reason. And behind her is... everyone else.
あの様子だとどうやら問題は解決できたみたいですね。よかったよかったっす。
皆さんお邪魔なんじゃないでしょうか。
So, are we interrupting your moment? I think we intruded, and we're sorry.
だってあの二人今キスをその
And it is the Six Stars Club, all of them. Okay, so what are you people doing here?
何って決まってんでしょうが。ハーバータウンで見てたんじゃないの？
So I thought you did over there in Harbor Town.
電車があるうちに帰れって追い出されちゃった。
けど今夜を逃すなんて天文部員としてはやっちゃいけない失態でしょ。
みんなで朝までという話になりまして。
Okay?
あんたらにも連絡したのに全然返事ないし。てか携帯切ってるでしょ。
Yeah, it was my fault. Oops. So we looked at each other, blushed, and looked away. We didn't talk about it beforehand, and apparently we had both turned off our phones and just waited to be alone, or just want to be alone together.
人の気も知らないで。
So, what about me?
違うよ光。これはたまたまその
I'm sorry, I didn't really mean that, it's just, Sai tries her best to come up with an excuse and fails.
ごめんなさい。私たちの友情なんて所詮そんなものだったってわけだね。よーくわかったわ。ごめん光、怒らないでよ。
Well, don't be angry, we didn't really mean it. It was an accident.
ふんだ、知りません。
Well, I don't care.
私たちここからまた始めるんでしょね。終わるかもね。やだやだ光。
Well, come back! And in a panic, Sai chases after an extremely sulky Hikari. And the rest of us just look on and laugh. And suddenly the night's silence is broken up by a buzz of activity. So things are back to normal, which is a huge relief. And banning the idea of a romantic time alone with Saya, I switched mental gears. Okay, so back to business. So well then, so we got a long night ahead, so how about I go and get us some food?
それなら買ってきたよ、いろいろ。缶詰におにぎり、レトルトカレーにカップ麺。
Okay, great. So I'll boil some water and we can have a hot supper.
ねえ光、機嫌直してよ。
And for Saya, she's still trying to talk to Hikari.
やだったらやだよ。もうさやとは絶好だもん。
Well, I'm breaking up. I'm done. Hey, so are you two still not done yet? So it's time for supper.
何よその言い方。 あんたも同罪でしょうが、この
Well, you're part of the problem. Oh, stop it. So leave my hand alone.
お腹すいた。そういえば夕飯食べてないよ。
So we boiled water and prepared supper. And then we took out the observation supplies we stored in the train, blankets, sleeping bags, warm clothing, and so on. So we had a long night ahead of us. And the miraculous meteor shower is going to last until dawn. It was a day in late December when night wind grew cold with the bite of winter. So what's going on? And Kotaro is outside. So I'm pretty sure Saya's coming. So hearing the familiar sound of Kotaro's excited barking, I look up and see...
こんばんは。
Yep, so it is Saya. Hey, hello, welcome. So Saya enters the store carrying her usual tote bag. She looks around to make sure there are not any other customers and that Miharu-san is away, and then she tottered over.
あっくん。
So pressed up against the counter, Saya looks at me with expectant eyes, just like Kotaro when he wants to be petted. Okay, fine. So when I pat her on the head, Saya runs away and presses down her hair.
髪がくしゃくしゃだよ。
I'm sure Saya didn't want to be patted by Akito. She wants something else. Well, I thought you wanted me to do this.
違うもん。あっくんの顔が見てたかっただけだもん。
There you go. It's like, no, I want to look at you, not to be patted like a dog. Well, with her handbag, or with her staring at me up close with that look on her face, I got a bit excited. So after quickly fixing her hair, Sai opens her tote bag. So what is it?
ロールキャベツ。
Okay, so cabbage rolls. They look delicious.
お母さんが作ってくれたんだよ。これだとお野菜も食べられるでしょって。
Well, thank you so much. So I have to go thank her in person sometime.
来て来て。お母さん、あっくんのお世話やりたくてしょうがないみたいだから。
So, my mother can't wait to see you, and...
ああ、でも、あっくんの通い妻は私なんだからね。
Well, I think it's time to move up from that. She looks at me as if seeking confirmation. Well, you're doing all the commuting, I guess, but it's your mother who's cooking the food. And I made it sound mean on purpose, whereupon Saya puffed up her adorable cheeks. Well, I want to be the commuter wife. I like that.
そうはいかないんだから。私、冬休みになったらお母さんにお料理習うもん。
And I'm going to be the one who makes the food for you. I see. So you're still looking at me like I can't do anything much. So what's the matter, Saya?
今、ちょっと残念そうな顔した。
So I didn't like how you mentioned that I wasn't not the one who makes the dishes and I don't deserve that much credit.
私がお料理するようになったら、お母さんの手料理食べられなくなるって思った。
So Wait, so how did she know? Well, of course not. I want to try your cooking too, Saya, so it's gonna be delicious.
いいもん。美味しくできても食べさせてあげないんだから。
Well, you don't seem to like it, so I won't let you try it at all. And so visibly annoyed, Saya went over to the cafe corner. And I left the counter and went after her. Come on, don't be mad. I said I'm looking forward to your food too. Saya ignores me and takes out some study material from her tote bag. So studying for the test again tonight? So you've been really focused lately.
今度の期末テストで少し順位を上げようと思って。そうじゃないと先生たちが納得してくれないでしょ。
It's like, well, I slipped and I don't want to look bad. It's like, well, I'm dating, so as a result, my grades go down. So Saya gave a bright smile, but somehow felt like she's not smiling on the inside. So you are taking that night patrol teacher's words seriously, huh?
そんなことないよ。やだな、あっくん。
So Saya truly is scary when she gets mad. But you know, it's not that easy to improve your rank, right? So you're already high on the charts. So the tests are just a few days away. And Saya had her textbook open and is already reading when she nonchalantly replies.
うん、多分できると思う。今まではそんなに頑張ってなかったから。
Right. So I suppose she had confidence, or conviction, or both. But I'm sure Saya had a good reason to feel that way.
だからしばらく勉強に集中しなきゃいけないの。ごめんね、あっくん。
So I gotta keep up my studies. Okay. Well, I have to work too.
あっくん
Yes? So Sai had a serious look all of a sudden, and my back straightened as if a teacher had called on me.
勉強もちゃんとしなきゃダメだよ。
So, my advice to you. So you gotta keep up your studies too, because you're a student. So, yes?
そうだ、光にも言っとこう。あの子、プロジェクトが成功して、多分まだ浮かれっぱなしだろうから。
And I'm sure the same applies to Hikari. So Saya sent Hikari a text message. So, Hikari, don't forget. So even though it's good that you create this Project Starlight and made it exciting, you gotta remember that you're a student and you have to focus on your studies too. So Hikari's reply is like, well, stop talking like my mother, okay? But you could not blame Hikari. So Project Starlight had been a success. So in addition to Harbor Town, several other areas had cooperated by turning off their lights that night. And many businesses and homes had also reduced their lighting to the extent they could. And in reality, I had no idea how many people actually cooperated or participated, but I'm certain of the results. So I saw the stars return to the night sky. So people talked about the project online, and the whole country came to know about it. And in fact, the project probably had even more supporters now. And we can safely say that one of the project's aim has been achieved, getting everyone to look at the stars. And along with the rare phenomenon of the Geminid meteor shower, I wondered if records of Project Starlight would remain. So Hikari is sure to be backing in the project's success for a long time, or basking.
あ、光から返事が来た。
So, okay, back to your studies.
お母さんみたいなこと言わないで。
Exactly what Saya predicted. or Akito predicted. So just as I thought, word for word.
もうあの子は
So with a loud sigh, Saya sent off another text. So what is it? So she's probably reiterating her point. It's like the sad truth is that Hikari, like the rest of us, had no choice but to battle with the term tests. And I placed a hand on Saya's shoulder and nod.
ん
Well, you make a great teacher.
そうなの
She had the persistence to handle Hikari, so the fundamentals are definitely there. However, well, just watch out for spot baldness. So many people stop teaching because of that. And the one example Akito can go off on is Miharu sensei.
わかった
Well, unconvinced, Saya can't sent off her text to Hikari and then picked up a mechanical pencil. And not wanting to disturb her, I went back to work. So burning with determination, Saya studied for the tests with uncommon focus. So Saya is right that, well, it's good that you're working, but don't forget that you still need to study. You gotta keep your grades up at school, and you should focus more on that than your part-time job at the Satome Stop and Buy convenience store. And I'm not sure about Hikari, but anyways, so several days have passed, and it's the day after the term tests have ended.
はいあ
Okay,
どうかな
so how is it? It's good.
本当なんだか反応が薄くない
Well, I want something else than that. So, I want you to tell me about what makes it taste good. You're imagining things. So, Saya and I are inside the train at the abandoned station. And we are free from the tests, but I live with others, and Saya's mom was at home today, so this is the only place we could be alone. And anyways, I wanted to check up on the place, so wild animals sometimes get inside the train. Okay? So I was eating the box lunch that Saya made for me.
一生懸命作ったのに
Well, it is delicious. Come on.
本当
So are you telling the truth, or are you just trying to say kind words to me? Yeah, it's true, really. Okay, second bite.
あー
So Sai let out, let me try some of her egg yolk. No, egg roll. Okay, that's good.
本当
Okay, I'm convinced now. Yeah, really, so it's nice and fluffy.
でも今「あ」って言ったよねなんか意外そうに
Well, you don't have to say so much or pay so much attention to these little things. So taking cover behind a smile, I ask for another bite. So if I voluntarily ask for a bite, then it shows that I like Saya's lunch. Okay, so your egg rolls are sweet.
うんお父さんが甘いのが好きだったんだって
Okay.
あとはねこれミニハンバーグ
Okay, so how about this? Oh, so this is delicious too.
やっぱりさっきのは美味しくなかったんじゃない
So I don't think Sai made everything in the lunchbox, and it's like, well, I want to see which of the entrees Akito likes. And if he says he likes this one, then it gives Sai the feeling, well, I made this, so he likes it better than the rest. And I'm sure Sai's mother made the rest of the entrees. So Sai patted while I laughed, trying to cover my tracks. Okay, so Saya's mom is a great cook, so I could not help comparing, but for a beginner, Saya's cooking is good. And besides, however it tasted, Saya made it just for me, so of course I was happy to try it.
冬休みはずっとアルバイトなんでしょ？
Yeah, so sorry. And while preparing for Project Starlight, I exchanged so many shifts with Miharu-san, so now I have to make them all up. And of course, that also meant I am not getting paid, so now I have to work extra hard. Even though we didn't have classes, I wouldn't be able to set aside much time to go out with Saya.
そっか。じゃあお昼ご飯はどうするの？
Well, same thing I'm doing, so I'll just buy something from the store. If I asked, she'd probably make lunch for me, but I didn't want to be so needy. But I'm sure it's like, well, I'm sure what you buy is not healthy, it's instant, and probably like candy or the cookies or well, maybe the pork bun is healthy, but still it's like it's better if I make something for you.
はいはい。
So Saya raises her hand energetically. Yes, Amanagawa-san?
私が作ればいいと思います。
Okay, so that means I'll make something for you. Well, are you okay with that? So Saya gave me 2 thumbs up.
だって私、あっくんの通い妻だもん。お弁当くらい作っていかないとだよ。
Well, it's too much to ask.
いいの。成績も上がってたし、心置きなく通い妻できるんだもん。
Okay? Saya grins, just like a child seeking praise. And as she declared before the term test, she had in fact moved up in the ranks. So Saya did do better, and it's like, well, she used to be around number 30, but this time she's now in the top 10, so her progress is incredible. So you're amazing, Saya.
これでもう先生に文句は言わせないんだから。
So she said in a cute way, but I know that deep down, part of her power comes from her resentment. Well, I had to not make Saya angry. Ever. So after that, we savored and fed each other items from Saya's handmade box lunch number 1. And I drank the last of the bottled tea and sighed contently. Well, thanks for the delicious food.
どういたしまして。
Well, you're welcome. And now... So what's next? So after putting away the lunch boxes, we had nothing to do. So should we clean up the train car, or else we could Sai turns red and looks away, even as she moved closer.
せっかく二人きりなんだし、もっとくっついたりしていいんだよ。
So what on earth do you mean, Saya? So explain yourself more clearly.
あ、ほら、期末テストの勉強であっくんに寂しい思いさせちゃったし。
So now that I have time, I want to spend some time with you.
だからね。
Well, this isn't because you felt lonely that you want to get close to me. Well, come on. So I am lonely and you're not treating me very well. So Saya puffs her cheeks out and looks up at me.
意地悪だよ。
So yeah, you're being mean, Akun.
あっくんがいいんだったら、じゃあここの掃除して帰ろう。
So annoyed, Saya moves away from me in an attempt to start cleaning. Well, I'm kidding. So cleaning is a terrible idea. It's like, well, we're alone and I know it's a waste to just clean up this train.
じゃあどうしたいのか言ってみて。
So Saya stares right at me. Her eyes are scary. We just are, well, so I guess, how about a bath? And I was just thinking out loud, but I instantly realized it was the wrong thing to say. Wait. That was a joke too. I'm sorry, Saya, so don't get angry. So you're teasing me, right?
いい考えじゃない。
Well, I guess it's not that bad. Hmm?
そうしましょう。ほら、何してるの、あっくん。行くよ。
And just like that, Saya is already out of the train. Wait, seriously? I hurriedly chase after her. Okay, so we're at this bath again that we've seen before in the common routes. So, if I remember from the Japanese version, there is actually an H scene that happens between this and the train car. And it explains why Sai was blushing when Akito was making some requests instead of just cleaning up the train car. So let's see how it goes from here. So while soaking in the hot bath, Saya is having fun playing with the water. So it's great to get into the outdoor bath while the sun is still up. And with my chin just above the water, I look in Saya's direction. So it is still light out, and I could see Saya's wet body clearly.
何見てるの、あっくん。
Nothing. So I quickly look away.
あっくんのエッチ。
Well, that's how you are. And for some reason, Saya sounded a little happy even as she splashed water at me. So I never thought we'd actually take on an outdoor bath together. And with this light, anything under the water is clearly visible, so she's sitting some distance away. But if I was reading the situation right, perhaps Saya couldn't or wouldn't mind being seen after all. It's like, well, we're a couple, so it doesn't make any difference. Hey, I'm so Saya.
何、あっくん。
So mind I join you? Well, you know, well, I didn't get to see you with the test after and all, and I'm really missed you, so I want to get close to you like this. Is that asking too much?
いいよ。おいで、あっくん。
Okay, come here then. So I knew it. Saya, the closet monster, is waiting for something sexy to happen.
今、心の中でなんて思った？顔にいろいろ出ちゃってたよ。
I wasn't thinking of anything. I'm just so happy that you said yes.
こっち来てもいいけど、あっち向いててね。
Well, wait. So, then I won't see anything.
じ
Hey, so I know what you're thinking of. Oh, fine. So I'll face that way. So as I move towards Saya with my back to her, she comes closer too. And while I am sad and can't or wouldn't get to see her, being near her comforted me as I savored the warmth of the bath. So a cold wind blew now and then, and it felt good on my warm skin.
あっくんと二人きりで露天風呂に入るなんて、なんだかお忍びで旅行に来たみたい。
Sai whispers to my ear as she comes closer. A trip. Well, that'd be nice. Well, I want to go somewhere, just the two of us.
景色の綺麗なところがいいね。
So, such as?
う 雪景色を見ながら温泉に入りたいな。
That sounds great. So let's go someday. Maybe to Fuyubu. That's where Yukikoe Melt takes place.
行きたい。
Well, Saya, so there's something naughty about the phrase secret trip. So I spoiled the moment and made Saya angry again. Or so I thought, but I'm wrong.
本当だね。なんだかドキドキする。
So she must have been imagining our secret hot spring trip. So closet mons... Oh, I'm sorry.
あっくんのバカ。自分の方がエッチなくせに。
Yes, I have a dirty mind. I really, really want to turn around and look at you. And accidentally spoke my mind, and Saya froze up. And at the point, I just had to go all out. Yeah, I want to look. I really want to look. So I want to look at how mature or nature made you.
あっくんが本性をむき出しにした。
Well, but you can actually do want me to turn around, don't you? So let's be honest. Closet monster.
違うもん。モンスターじゃないもん。
But I'm your... Or in your head, you must be thinking, oh, so I don't mind if Akun is the one who's looking, right? Or otherwise, you wouldn't be in here with me. And I still had my back to Saya's, but I imagined her blushing in the face of my flawless reasoning. Well. He's right. Oh, well, I'm turning around. Okay, so turn around now. So, 3, 2, 1. Saya? So, there is a suspicious splash, and when I turned around, Saya is floating gently in the hot water. Wait, Saya?
のぼせちゃった。
So I rush to save Saya. She's bright red from the heat.
ごめんね、あっくん。
Okay, so in the Japanese version, if I remember correctly, that obviously leads to another H scene in the bath, and I'm sure Saya was expecting it to happen. So anyways, it looks like we're past the point where the H scene would have taken place, so Saya is slumped in her seat and I'm fanning her gently. So are you going to be okay?
もう平気。
Such as saving Saya from passing out from the heat, exhaustion in the hot springs, I somehow managed to get her back here to rest. Okay, so Morita managed to cover up the H portions correctly. Or, they do it very well. So I'm so surprised, and you just suddenly fainted.
だって、のぼせそうなところに、あっくんが恥ずかしいこといっぱい言うから。
So too much stimulation for your delicate sensibilities, huh?
うん。
So what's wrong? Still feeling dizzy?
そうじゃないんだけど、あっくん見たよね。
So that what?
ほら、私を抱き上げてお湯から出すとき。
Well, I was busy saving you, so I didn't see anything.
本当？
Yeah, really. So there is so much steam too. Really? So Saya's eyes are searching for something. And truth to be told, I had seen her in the basic way that you see someone. But I had been more focused on saving her than anything else. I'm sure Akito was covering up what he was really thinking of when he brought Saya out from the hot springs. So if it only had been different.
今惜しいことしたなって顔したよね。
Well, you see through everything, don't you? Well, I guess I can't hide anything from a child friend. And we know that Saya's smart, so...
もう悪のエッチ。
So you can't hide anything from Saya. So Saya's bright red lips thinned in disapproval, but her expression says otherwise. So if that's the case, then how about showing me now?
あっくんもうこんな時間。ほらバイト遅れちゃうよ。
So work time. So I am going to have to wait a bit longer for my chance. Okay, so they're now back down
コタちゃん。
with Kota-chan. So Kotaro has noticed us approaching the store. Sai goes over and starts petting him.
よしよしコタちゃん。
That's nice. So I smile at how affectionate Saya is with Kotaro, and then the automatic door opens
おかえり子供たち。
with Miharu.
ただいまです先生。
Hello.
夜会ったらこんばんはでしょうが、学校で習わなかった？てか教えなかった？
So during her lecture, Miharu sensei had removed her apron and thrust it to me. Okay, your turn. I still have another 10 minutes, you know.
エプロンの肩んとこが重くって、肩凝っちゃうのよ。
Well, that's Miharu's problem. So Miharu-san stretches her neck and shoulders.
早くこたつ入ってテレビ見ながらみかん食べないと、年寄りには致命傷になりかねないわ。
Okay? Hey, you're not actually that age yet.
あー、つらいつらい。
So you're not 65 yet, so you can't complain about that. And as Miharu-san continues bemoaning life in general, Sai gives her a disappointed look.
何よその目。
この間の先生すごく素敵だったのになーって。
Well, I want to see that kind of Miharu again, so the one in her teacher form versus this one.
あんたも言うようになったじゃないの。彼氏ができたからって調子に乗るんじゃないわよ。
Well, I like being like this. So Miharu-san pinches Saya's nose
ごめんなさいごめんなさい。
and stops showing off. Come on, Miharu-san, so just stop. So Saya's adorable and her well-formed nose will be...
今日のところはこのくらいにしといてあげるわ。
ひどいよ先生。
So holding the bridge of her nose, Saya protested, but Miharu-san wasn't listening anymore.
さーて、こたつでテレビ見ながらみかん食べつつ、レベル上げでも頑張るか。
Okay, time to be lazy again. And Miharu-sensei or san has borrowed games from Takeichi, apparently, and she's spending most of her day on them.
ああ、もうあの先生には会えないのかな。
Well, she's been through a lot. I patted Saya on the shoulder to console her. So Saya is looking at her phone's welcome screen. Oh, so you want to use that photo. So why isn't me on her welcome screen? Or Well, I thought of telling her to use a photo of Kotaro, or at least, but her choice is endearing.
それじゃあ私帰るね。
Okay, I'm going home. Take care, and thanks for the lunch. So it is delicious, honestly.
冬休みになったらもっともっと通い妻やるからね。
So I'll make more food for you as the commuter wife. She seems determined to improve on the outcome of today's taste test.
じゃあね。バイバイ、あっくん。コタちゃんもバイバイ。
See you later. As I watch Saya trot off, I mumble to myself. The commuter wife. So it had a nice ring to it, didn't it? So it makes sense for Sai to have Miharu Sensei on the front page of her smartphone because if you remember, it was Miharu who inspired Sai to become a teacher when Sai grew up. And unfortunately, the current Miharu is lazy, but that Miharu in the past, she was really energetic and really inspired students. So anyways, let's see. So as soon as winter break started, things got really busy. So first, right after the term tests, we had Project Starlight after party. So everyone is here to celebrate the project's success and have fun. And even the hardships we endured or Saya's poorly timed running away from home, all this became pleasant memories in hindsight. And in the middle of that after party, Honoka makes a suggestion.
プロジェクトスターライトは無事成功しました。ですが、それで終わってはいけないと思います。
So, we should continue.
今回の成功は、さやさんがつけていた星空のスケッチによるところが大きかった。これを教訓に、我々も記録を残していくというのはいかがでしょう。星の中の夜空の観測記録をむつら星の会の活動として後輩たちへ受け継いでいけたらと思います。
Sir, suggestions are unanimously approved, and we are going to discuss details like methods and formats at the next meeting. So what are we going to do next? So with our own hands, we're going to record the Hoshinaka night sky. So we're going to continue what Saya started 5 years ago, and we'll continue to track and see what stars disappear and such. So I thought it's a fitting enterprise for the Six Stars Club. So after the party, I am able to relax for a few days, but then New Year's Eve comes around. So New Year's Eve is the only day of the year when the stop and buy stays open late, so I'm incredibly busy. Okay. And though the store is closed for the first 3 days of the year, I'm still kind of busy, and Takichi comes over and we visit the temple with Korona. So as usual, Saya had to help at home, so I didn't get to see her. Which brings us to the end of the New Year period, January 4th. And Hikari comes.
おめでと
So does Saya. Oh, Happy New Year.
う。今年もよろしくね、アキト。
Yeah.
ふつつか者ですが、よろしくお願いします。
So Saya bows politely. Well, we certainly will. And I bowed in return. So this is my first time seeing Hikari and Saya in the New Year's. And after exchanging New Year greetings, Hikari notices someone reading comics in the cafe corner.
よー、タケじゃん。あきおめ。
Takeichi.
新年早々騒がしいやつだな。
あんた、貴重な冬休みをこんなとこで漫画読んで過ごしてんの？
ほっとけ。そういうお前はどうなんだよ。
へへん。私はサヤンチで愛するサヤタンの手料理をごちそうになってたもんね。
Wait, what? That is unexpected. Hikari sniggers and gives me an annoying sideways glance.
どうだ、羨ましかろう。サヤタンの手料理、美味しかったぞ。
I know, I've been eating it every day. So Saya, my computer wife, has brought me a box lunch every day of the winter break, just like she said she would. But that's last year, and since the start of the new year, Saya has been busy helping out at home, and I am missing her food already.
出来たてだぞ。ほっかほかだぞ。
So, for the last 3 days, me, Hikari, has been helping you. Hikari.
もうやめてよ、光。そういうんじゃないでしょ。ま、あんたに食べさせるための新メニューの試食だったんだけどね。それ言っちゃダメだよ。
So, while Sai panics at the disclosure, Hikari gets down next to Takeichi and sighs theatrically.
ああ、嫌になっちゃうよね、タケ。寂しい独り身のことも考えてほしいわ。
いや、俺彼女いるし。
Hikari isn't phased, but when she looks around and realizes she is the odd one out, her jaw drops.
サヤがアキトの通い妻やるんだったら、私はサヤの通い夫になる。
That sounds wrong.
お前、いつから男になったんだ？
私モテモテだね。
Sai looks very much at ease as she went over to join Hikari.
タケ君、明けましておめでとう。
おう、おめっとさん。今年もよろしくな。
うん、よろしくだよ。
つっても、こないだみたいなのはごめんだけどな。
はい。
So at the mention of her running away, Saya's expression crumbled. Takeichi hadn't realized Saya had been hiding in Korona's room, apparently.
その後どうよ？親とはうまくやってんのか？
So, are you back on good terms with your family?
うん、それは大丈夫。すんごく叱られたけどね。その説は本当にご迷惑をおかけしました。
Saya bows deeply in apology.
俺は別にいいけどよ。本当に困った時とかはちゃんと友達とか彼氏を頼れよな。
So, looking at Hikari and me, Saya nods.
今度からそうする。にへへ。
Hikari smiles happily. That simple exchange had been enough to fix her mood. Well, actually, I felt better too.
ああ、寝すぎて頭痛い。
And maybe not true for Miharu. So rather flustered, Miharu-san makes her entrance. And looking like she had a hangover, she helps herself to the store's coffee without any regards for her former students. Miharu-san, so the coffee isn't free, so you have to pay for it.
ああ、
Uh-huh.
こんばんは、先生。明けましておめでとうございます。
ああ、おめでとうさん。年が明けてめでたいなんて思っていられるのも今のうちだけどね。
So Miharu-san gives a cynical smile. Well, she's even more jaded than usual today.
先生、貸してたゲーム、いい加減マジで返してくださいよ。
Hey, I want my games back.
タケもいたのか。
いつになったらクリアするんすか？
いや、レベル上げが面倒でさ、村人と会話してても全然話進まないし、お金もたまんないし。
Well,
あのゲームダメなんじゃない？
so imagining being lazy enough to the point where you don't want to work hard on the games and level up.
あんた RPG 向いてないよ。やめちまえ。
So Saya looks a little dismayed again. And noticing Saya's gaze, Miharu-san makes a somewhat forced resolution.
来年から本気出すか
Well, the new year has started.
今年から本気出してください。
ら。わかったわよ。わかったから、そんな顔しないで。
And sipping her coffee, Miharu-san tries to escape from Saya's forlorn eyes.
ところであんたら、なんで集まってんの？
So by the way, what are you all doing here? Okay, so I noticed that I'm at an hour for this episode, so I'll leave the rest to the next episode, and I'm sure that will be the last episode for Saya's route. So I like how Saya's like, well, I really want to see Miharu in the old times again. And it was quite a pleasure to see Miharu dressed up her old teacher self just for Project Starlight. But now that it's over, she's back to her usual lazy self. And if you remember, it was Miharu who inspired Saya to become a teacher. And that's why Saya worked hard and got into a good high school, Seisen Girls. And it is quite a shame to see that her role model has become a lazy person who just wants to be at home watching TV, her dramas, and such. So I wonder how this is going to end and what's going to happen in the epilogue after the credits. So anyways, with that in mind, I'll see you later.